Welcome back, scholars. We are now going to plan for today's lesson. Before we start, here are the materials that you will need. You're going to need your poem, the poem that we've been going over for the last few days, sheet of paper, pencil, and a distraction-free location. Now remember, if you have questions about today's assignment, meet us in our office hours at 2:15. Scholars, we are one big learning family, all here to support, grow as learners, and make this virtual experience the best experience ever. Our vocabulary term for today is imagery. What word? Now, scholars, as we discuss imagery, we are going to dive deep into the poem and find out how the author uses imagery within the poem. The definition for imagery is when an author paints a picture in the reader's mind using all or some sensory images. Again, scholars, our focus in today's lesson is looking and identifying ways that the author uses imagery within the poem. We're moving. So, scholars, yes, I kind of already let the cat out of the bag and said one of the things that we were doing. So, here are our two discussion prompts. How does Swinburne use imagery to characterize Cleopatra? And two, how does he use word choice to characterize Cleopatra? Scholars, I want you to write these two questions in your notes. How does he use imagery to characterize Cleopatra? And how does he use word choice to characterize Cleopatra? You have 1 minute. You are writing in your notes. As a reminder, today's lesson is 15A. You have about 15 more seconds in your writing. So, scholars, now that you have our two discussion prompts down, let's remember our focus in this section is to identify the author's use of imagery and word choice. Again, our focus is to see how the author uses imagery and word choice. We're moving. So, scholars, yes, we have to make a T-chart. Our T-chart today, it's a pretty nice size T-chart. The first thing we need to do is have our evidence, and we have already identified our evidence. We have two pieces of evidence that shows us how the author uses imagery. Then we have two pieces of evidence that shows us how the author used word choice. After we have identified, we now need to go in and analyze it. What does this mean? What are the synonyms that best represent the words or the evidence that we've provided? And after we've made an analysis, we need to talk about the positive and negative connotation. So, is this piece of evidence or is this imagery negative or positive? Or is this word choice? Does it have a negative connotation or a positive connotation? Scholars, I am going to give you 2 minutes to create this anchor chart or this T chart. On your sheet of paper, you will have a total of 12 boxes. Your boxes to the furthest left will be your evidence. Your boxes in the middle will show your analysis. And your box to the right will tell if it has a positive or a negative connotation. Scholars, be sure to go ahead and write down the evidence that I have already provided. Again, this is the evidence that we're going to use in today's lesson. Again, you have 2 minutes. You're creating this T-chart on your notes. And your 2 minutes has started. All right, scholars. So you have had 2 minutes to create this T-chart. We are now going to use this T-chart to really dive into this poem, Cleopatra, and analyze and decide if some of the imagery and word choice that the author has used shows positive or negative connotation. So, scholars, you have completed this. We are now ready to dive in. Meet me in the next video.